Well, that was an oops. I accidentally shut off my recording. So back to our page. So anyway, we cut off the 2.5 inches down all the way across. Now I want to put a notch in my pocket. So I get out my envelope punch board here. And I keep my tab folded because it's not going to be there. And I put this in at 2 3/8. That's going to be halfway. Punch me a notch before I close up the pocket. But what I was talking about is I take a strip of, I had one cut, now I don't know what I did with it. After you get done cutting out everything, you will have some little strips left. And so I took, and I 1 inch wide by, oh, here it is right here. So it's 1 inch wide by 4, and I believe this is 4 5/8, I think. Well, let's just do this. So yes, it's 1 inch wide by 4 5/8. And then I go ahead and score it down the middle at 1/2 inch. Put the tape on both sides. It kind of gives me a place to work for my gusset. And then I take and I trim off each corner just enough to give me an angle. And that's what's going to hold my pocket closed at the bottom. I did this because you could get 2 pieces that are 5 3/4 out of 1 12 by 12. And this is only 10 5/8 wide. So by the time you cut that strip off the end, you will end up with a 12-inch strip that's a little over 1 inch wide that you can make your little pieces out of. So I did that to keep from getting only 1 page out of 1 sheet of 12 by 12. So I cut my angles. I'm going to take this piece here and I'm going to stick it right from the fold where my pocket's going to fold over all the way down at the very bottom, all the way to the end. There's a tiny bit that doesn't get anything. It's fine. It's not going to hurt anything. So I smears that down. I bring this over. Now this is going to go up inside of here like this, and this is going to go here, but I want these to match. I should have put it on this part over here. So what I'm going to do though is I'm going to angle this as well. And then this piece really should have been stuck over here so that you could see where you're coming in at. You don't want these to overlap each other. So I need to cut a little bit more off of here. And a little bit, I'm going to cut a little bit off of there at more of an angle. So if you end up overlapping them, then you got bulk that you don't need. Okay. So I'm going to pull this off. And I'm going to pull this piece off. Oh, I want to cut an angle at the top too. I'm sorry. I want to cut an angle at the top as well before you put it down. So we're going to take and this over. This is going to go down there, and it's going to stick just to the, not on that fold edge, just at the fold edge. So there's your pocket is down, and this will fold like this, and you're good. You may even want to fold that before you stick it down, just to make sure it's sticking in the right place. So here's one pocket, and again, these are going to stick down this way. There's a pocket, there's a page, and there's a page. So then I'm going to take a piece of cardstock that I did not get cut, and I'm going to cut a piece that is, whoops, so these are 2 5/8 each one of them. No, these are, I'm sorry, these are 5/8 of an inch wide. 1 2 3. So that means I want a piece, because I build them and stick them on here first. So I'm going to cut me a 1 7/8 inch wide strip of cardstock, and it only needs to be 5 3/4 inches tall. That's pretty much what this is. Okay, so there's the piece we're going to use, and this should cover all 3 of those gussets, and it does. Okay, so then I'm going to take that's my last page, so either one of these will work. So I'm going to fold my fold my gusset over. I'm going to peel off the strip, the tape, and I'm going to place it on that piece we just cut. I'm going to place it right on the edge, right up against the edge there. I like to build my pages on something that if I screw up somewhere and I need to rip the whole thing off, I can save the outside of the book. That's all this is all about. Because undo will take off your tape. So if you end up screwing up something, you can use undo and you can lift the whole piece off the back of your book and save your cover and your spine. So then the second one, it goes right up against there. Barely touch the spine. So that goes up against there. And then this one is going to go up against there. So get this off of here. Okay, and this one's going to go right like that. Okay, so there's my 3 pages inside there. Then I'm going to put this in the book, and you'll see there's the 5/8 inch here, and there isn't back there, but that 5/8 inch will just go on the edge of where your chipboard is. So I'm going to end up taping this down just like this, and then it'll work. This leaves 5/8 here, this leaves 5/8 inch here. And because I didn't get this done properly, I need a scrap that is 1 7/8 inch wide. This will work. So let's cut this at 1 7/8 inch is right there. And then 5 3/4 is how tall it is. So I'm using a remnant of my score tape sheet that I had left. I always keep extra, the little pieces. Okay. So pull that off. So that's the piece that's going to get stuck down onto my book. And since I'm a little crooked here, I need to take and trim off that excess because I don't want it to be sticky. And then across the top where I see the white. Nope, I see more. Let me see. My scissors. There we go. Okay. So now I'm going to take this, burnish it down really good. Peel off, not all of it. Again, just going to peel the one side I'm going to stick down first. I'm going to center this to where I want it to go. Stick that down, then lift it up and pull the rest of it out. There we go. I'll stick it, make sure it sticks down really well. Okay. So there's our pages, and it is really together. But once you get your pieces on them, now see I got it a little bit crooked right there. Now I'm going to show you. This is what I was talking about as far as having to take it up. So if I just take this and I put this under here this way, I didn't even think to look, didn't check it good enough when I Let me make sure that it was, but this is good because this will show you exactly how you can, if you have undo, there, see, it took it all off. And now, and it'll evaporate, and it stinks. And most crafters do know about undo and its properties. You always want to wait till it's good and dry. This will remain sticky, so you'll be able to just reuse it. Wait till this is good and dry. So while we're waiting, I will go ahead and put this back over the top of this, and we can just go ahead and put some of the stuff on our pages. That way it doesn't stick to anything. So I'm going to start with inside my front cover. So I did 3 pieces, 3 3/4 by 5 3/4. Take the 3 3/4 side, score it at 1/2 inch, all 3 of them. And then I fold them down. These are going to be right on the inside. So I'm going to take the first one, and I'm going to take it out and have it line up with the inside paper that is on the inside of the book. Put that one there, and then I took the second one and I lined it up against that one, right up against that one. And then before I stick that down, make sure those, yep, they line up good. Okay, so that's those. And then the third one is going to come over here. And you're not going to put it right at the fold, just off of the fold. And then with this one, I want to make sure, oh, I'm out of screen. I want to make sure that this one will line up with these. So you can put it on top of there like that so you can see it. Tuck it under and then just bring it out, just out to where you know where it needs to be. I want mine to be right there. Off just a little bit. And stick it down. So there's the ones inside the cover. That one, and this one. And then I put a magnet on here to hold this one. Magnet on the top and the bottom, and the disc on the bottom. I'm just going to paper clip it shut to hold it shut. Okay, now we should be able to put this guy back on. So I want to, this time, I'm going to look at the bottom down here too and make sure that it's right. So get off of there. Okay. So I'm going to take this again over there by the edge, and then I'm going to put this page down here to where I want it to be. And if you get this put in and this piece here ends up being a little bit crooked, you can cover that up with pattern paper and cover up the crookedness of it. So there's 1, 2, 3 there, and there they go over to there. So they line up with the inside cover as well. So then I will re-stick it down. There, much better, much better. Now they line up, and when they flip over, they line up this way, and then they will line up the back, as you can see. See, they're all together. So that's how you fix a oopsie. Okay, back to our pages. So then on the first page, the only thing I really did on the front of it is I just made a flap. This is 4 5/8 by 5 3/4. The 4 5/8 side, or the 5 3/4 inch side, put it in your scoreboard this way, scored at 1/2 inch. This is going to, and you'll notice all my angles have been cut on my things. This one I'm going to mount at the very top of this page. So I'm going to turn my book upside down, and I line it up with the outside edge. Mount that at the very top. This one will get a magnet here and a disc here. to hold them shut. I can actually do, so I can show you. Let's see. So here are some discs. So this is a disc, and I'm going to put this on the inside here. So I take a little piece of score tape, stick it on the disc, stick the disc down where I want it, right about, oh, I need to make sure, that's why I need to make sure that it's going to be on the right spot down here. So then, there, it's in the right spot. And then I'm going to take a magnet and put a magnet down there on top of it and stick it to the other part. So here's a magnet. Put that in the center. I am going to go ahead and, these are basic gray magnets. They do have stick 'em on them. So I'm going to put that on there. There. That's where I want it to be. And I'm going to flip it down on the book, stick it there, and then I'm going to take and put a piece of score tape over the top of that to help hold it there so that it doesn't come up. There. And that's going to go there. And on this one, because this is going to fold over the top, I'm going to put the same thing. I want to put the disc on. Put a piece of tape on the disc. I need to, I guess I'm catching myself being out of camera. So I want this to go on here, and I'm going to put this right there. So then I'm going to take my magnet. Now when you're putting magnets close to each other, you need to make sure they're not going to fight each other. Okay. It's not going to fight itself. So I'm going to put that down again. I'm going to peel up this little top, and then I'm just going to flip it over and stick it down. Then again, put a piece of tape over the top of it to hold it in place, so because that tape isn't going to last forever. Okay, so there's those two. Then we're going to flip this over, and on the back side I had two more. They're the same. They're 4 3/4 by 5 3/4. This is the 4 3/4. Score it at 1/2 inch on the side. And then this one, basically with these two, you're going to kind of repeat the inside of the album. This one is going to go on the outside of this page. Just barely inside there. Whoops, let's see. Nope, that's crooked. That's crooked. So let's do this again. Put this there and there. There we go. Okay, so there's that side. And this one is going to go just on the inside of that part. Okay, so this one's going to go on the inside that way and fold the same way, just inside. And then again, I'm going to do the disc again with the magnet. Kind of like having discs and magnets because I like the noise it makes when they go close. Think. So now see, that went right down to that down there, but we don't want it down there. So I'm going to go ahead, put the tape on there. I'm going to put this right kind of in the middle there. Now let's grab a magnet and see. Okay, it's not going to fight it either. Good. Sometimes if your magnets are too close to each other, they will fight each other and they won't want to, it'll make your page close crooked, and that you don't want. So put this on here, fold that over, and cover it with a piece of tape. Now, I also go back through when I get done, and I'll take another piece of tape, and I will cover this one. So there's that. This page I left alone. The back of it I left alone. So then we come to page number 3. And on page number 3, you have 2 pieces that are 3 1/4 by 4 5/8, and the 3 1/4 inch side this way. I scored them at a 1/2 inch on each one of them. These are going to go one at the top and one at the bottom. So they're going to flip open this way. So this one, I'm going to line it up with the outside edge, always the outside edge, to try to keep it away from your folds. The easiest way to do it. Okay, so there's that one. And then this one, down here on the bottom, again, the outside edge. Okay, the outside edge. Now, these two are going to go like this. They don't meet in the middle. But this piece, it goes over the top of it. So, I'm going to put a disc. See, I think I put the disc. I put it under there. I don't know. Let's look. So there's this. So, nope, the disc is on there. Okay, so we're going to put the disc on this piece, which means the magnet goes down in there. So we need to, I want to make sure which side needs to go up. So that side needs to go up. See, here's a good example of the magnets fighting each other. Because there's a magnet here, they can go through. See, it doesn't want to, let me get in the camera here. There's not a magnet here, but there is over here. And so even though those pages are, there's going to be paper between them, but see how that flipped way out there? It doesn't want to stay. It wants to go all the way out there. The other magnet is right there. So we want to make sure that they don't fight each other. So I'm going to, but this is also going to be down in here. So we're going to hope that, let me see, bring that back here. It's not going to be, I don't know. We're going to try this and see. I may have to move it. We'll find out here in a minute. So what I'm going to do, though, before I do this, peel this off, I'm going to draw myself a line the top and the bottom where these two meet. Put those lines in there. That's where my magnet needs to go. So let's just try this and see. So if I put this magnet there, okay, that'll work just fine. So that magnet's going to go there. Get a piece of tape, put a piece of tape across it. Okay, and then this is going to go in here underneath the paper. So let's put a little piece here and get it stuck down. I'm just going to do the eyeball the center. Then we're going to put a bigger piece all the way across it. So these two are going to fold down this way, and this is going to go on there that way. It's going to hold those closed. Okay, then on the back of our page, we do nothing. I just left it blank, left it with a pocket. Then on the inside of the cover, I always like to do a waterfall in every book for those pictures that don't make the cut for the pages. So I'm going to turn this upside down so that my top is here. These are going to be put in one right next to the other. So we're going to fold it. We're going to peel it off. And I'm going to center it right inside that back page, back cover. Center the best I can. There we go. The next one, fold it. Butt it right up against that one. There it is. I'm going to do all 4 of these right on top, right next to each other, just like that. I got just a tad bit off. Move that out just a tad. And one more. So we have 4 of these. And I actually scored them on the wrong side when I first scored them. See that score line right there? But the paper is going to cover it up, so it's not that big of an issue. Okay, and then we're going to okay, so there's all of those. And those come down that way. And then you have one that is 6 by 4 5/8. And score it again, 1/2 inch on that 6-inch side. So you're going to take this. This one is going to go down at the very bottom. You're going to want to line it up with, to cover up the other ones. Mine is not quite wide enough. I guess I need to make mine wider. It says 4 5/8. What are these? These should be 4 5/8. No, these are 4 3/4. So we need to cut another piece of paper. 4 3/4 by 6. Okay. So 4 3/4. There. Oh, let's do the 6-inch first. Let's save what paper I can save. Okay, 6 by 4 3/4. Then I'm going to score on that 6-inch side at 1/2 inch. Okay, so let's try this again. Fold this up, because this, when it goes in the book, it should cover those. You should not see the waterfall, and that's better. So that size was wrong. Okay, so now I need to put me some tape on the outside here. Burnish it down. And again, I'm going to put this over the top of that just so I know that I'm covering, so it's getting lined up properly. And stick it down. And there's that. And then again, we go to the disc and a magnet. And I do not like to put my, the magnet is thicker than a disc. So I like to put the disc under where a photo will go and the magnet under the pattern paper. So we're going to just take this disc and mount it down right there. Go ahead and stick another piece over the top of it to hold it. And then I'm going to put a magnet on there, but I'm also going to check and see. So if that magnet goes there and this goes here, I just want to make sure when this comes over, and it doesn't fight it. I just want to make sure the magnets don't fight each other if they get too close. So I'm going to peel this off of here. Put it back in the center and then stick that down. Okay, so there's my magnet. And it will get covered up with pattern paper. So there is the book. I'm not going to put paper on it. I want everybody to kind of do their own thing. So again, let's do a quick walkthrough. So inside the cover, you have these two and this one. Okay, so and then we have, here's our page number 1. We just have a flip that flips up this way. We close it over. On the back of it, we have a nice place where we can do a 3-page spread. This is page number 2. It's just got a pocket and nothing on the back. Page number 3 has got, this will have a probably a cut apart card on it or piece of pattern paper. This will flip both ways, and this is what holds that closed. And then on the back of page 3 is just a pocket, and then on the inside cover, this will flip down, and then this is the waterfall to put pictures on. And then what I also did on my other one is, because there is that disc back there, you could put a magnet on another card on something like this. You could put another magnet on there and stick it on there and have it decorate, accent it. So just kind of up to you. I did that on my other one and then I lost it. So I don't know where it went. So anyway, there's your mini book to go inside the mini coffin. Thank you for watching.